various projects along the industrial corridor for the Brookwood Parkway, and some of which have been data centers, as has been discussed in numerous meetings prior to this. Let's discuss a few of the myths about data centers. Water usage. None of the proposed projects that have gotten to any level of providing details have had water usage that is excessive. And by excess, I mean to say no more than the average industrial facility, 500 to 1,000 employees. Land use. The city fought for over 20 plus years to establish the Brookwood Parkway on its own for the use of our industrial corridor. These types of projects are exactly the reason this was done. There was no protest, no one protested the buildings on the parkway. As a matter of fact, they were celebrated by this community as they should have been. I personally have explored the issue of both in person, via visits to sites, and by speaking to several experts shown on the, in the field, because I myself had concerns about the noise pollution. The video of the projects shown online are of blockchain data centers, and they are very loud. The difference between AI centers and blockchain are night and day, and they should not have the same name. Based on what I've seen and I've learned, I do not anticipate these projects having any level of noise beyond that of any other industry or any of the other industries that we have located on the parkway. And not once have I received any calls, messaging, protesting these entities. But in addition to assurance, I've just given you, you can also be happy in knowing that the city has setback standards, buffering standards, requires closures of certain mechanical systems and other provisions that can address noise. As a last resort, the city also has a public nuisance ordinance that can be used for any acts, noise, or otherwise nuisance that raises issue and rises to that standard. Rural residential noise limits generally are 35 to 55 decibel range. Our power usage, first, the power is already sitting there. It's going unused. Second, companies are required to pay the entirety of the cost to get power to various sites. Alabama Power has put a statewide freeze on power rates. Alabama Power is governed by the Public Service Commission, not the City Council. And lastly, if the entire grid must be upgraded across the country, as the national leaders have said it must, then it will obviously cost us all. If that is the case, I'd rather my community gain the benefit during the process rather than the net loss. That is called responsible leadership. Claims on radio frequencies and electromagnetic frequencies in the field, referring to cancer. Mainstream regulatory science simply does not back that claim. Typical electronic frequency field levels drop sharply at distance. So even if you buy that, then the buffer is a reason for diligent site plan permitting. Also, the power has been there for quite some time. It is not new. The humming causes headaches and vertigo. That's a real issue on blockchain facilities. Not for all AI facilities, and this just holsters the argument for putting them in an industrial area. The city has put in some protection, land developing permits. Requirements prior to construction include the ability to ensure best practices and to help make sure setbacks and other requirements are met. Required coordination with environmental and other regulations at state level. Ongoing monitoring and inspections with real ability to require compliance. Building permits, responsible building practices to code. Again, inspection and monitoring with real ability to enforce. Zoning regulations and other city ordinances governing setbacks, buffers, and etc. can stop public nuisance level noise. The school. Very comfortable that there is zero risk to our children, otherwise these projects would not even be discussed. But for the future development of our industrial corridor, as we plan and hope for so many years, does necessitate a conversation with the county board. It has not happened yet, surrounding the new, now outdated and overcrowded Brookwood Middle School, and plans will be discussed to work a deal about that issue to move the school. Short-term benefits for this project. Again, there is no project, there is no contract in place. Construction of large industrial facilities will increase in the area to the local economy of the city of Brookwood and Tuscaloosa County, especially for our neighboring cities. Not only will we see upwards of 2,000 jobs and workers coming to our immediate area, the city itself will also receive real business license revenues that will go to fix our infrastructure, better our parks, and make Brookwood even better. Should any of these projects come to fruition, I have received pledges from all potential developers to use local contractors and workers wherever and whenever possible. Any of these potential products with the locations on the industrial corridor of the Brookwood Parkway will have minimal impact on the infrastructure of the city itself. Because we've been planning for the industrial development there, we don't have to help put in any additional infrastructure as we have in the past. Boom to business, local businesses, and increased sales tax revenues across the board. Our long-term effects are jobs. This facility will bring 100 or more high-paying jobs to our area. Tax revenue, the type of tax or the type of project has a large ripple effect throughout the city and provides meaningful revenues that will allow us to make generational improvements to our city and to the lives of our residents. Benefits of long-term to our local business with increased traffic and sales, that's growth for our businesses. Any large facility will spur supporting businesses in the area. The vision of the Parkway is coming to life. Brookwood is open for business. This means jobs and a better quality of life. County and neighboring cities, some growth for local business and jobs. The county just sustained a loss with the announcement of Goodrich plant leaving at the hands of Michelin. I will make sure that we cooperate and work cooperatively with the Workforce Development and West Alabama Chamber of Commerce to ensure the ability of some of these jobs and supporting jobs to benefit the transitioning workers. I understand everyone's frustration with the NDAs and other issues, but the idea of this has been done, but the idea that this has been done in darkness is simply not accurate. The entire reason it suddenly became an issue is because we posted the matter as we always do, in addition for prior rezoning, of which there have been multiple meetings. The ordinance and changes have been posted, adjoining landowners notified by mail, and large signs placed in actual property itself. The fact of the matter is that is why it is important to be involved and be present. Rather than jumping onto Facebook mobs that have no actual facts, no information that is accurate, and has taken the time to do any real research or have any real discussion. Happy to allow any public statements for those who have been requested to be on the agenda, and that is according to the council rules. I'll remind you to say your name, who you are, and where you reside, and always be respectful.